Well, hello. Let's do a story talk. I actually wound up having a meeting cancel on me today, so I have more time than usual, which is a rare thing. Anyway, digging right on in, I've gotten a number of questions from you guys. Hopefully I have caught up on answering all of them, and my apologies if I haven't. Feel free to tag me and let me know that I didn't. But I was looking through the list of what I wanted to answer on the video series, and this one seems appropriate because it matches up with something that's currently in the news, and that's the Jungle Book. Now, I was having a discussion with some different writers and readers, and one of the things I mentioned is I really like Rudyard Kipling's stories, particularly the Jungle Book and the his story Rikki Tikki Tavi. Just have read those many times, really enjoy those. Oh, it's been a few years since I've read them, wow. Anyway, they had quite an influence on my storytelling, and Rikki Tikki Tavi actually inspired my own short story world called Swanland. Forgive me, I was 6. It was... Oh my goodness, that was so... It started off as Dreamland, but then it became Swanland, because Swanland is so much more grown up, don't you think? And it featured these animals all interacting together, and so I pulled in all of my favorite elements from Rikki Tikki Tavi and the Jungle Book. But the Jungle Book also ended up having an influence on the Tue-Rah series. I found it completely fascinating. I read it many times, and there were a few characters who stood out to me again and again. And these are those characters who actually are still in Tue-Rah and have their own backstories. Eventually they'll all have novellas so that you get to see more of their stories. Now, to be clear, it wasn't fan fiction. I was not allowed to write fan fiction when I was a kid. My parents very strongly believed that it was important for me to write original stories. At the time I did cause a little bit of a fuss on that, but it's okay. I mean, it's good to push kids to be original. Anyway, my dad often told me it's okay to take inspiration from things, but you need to make sure you make it your own. You understand it. You create these characters and you draw inspiration, but you can't just take it and plop it in your story. It was good advice, in fairness. So, first one on the list, Bagheera, one of my favorite characters, and in both the book and the animated series. Not series, animated movie. He inspired the character Leonis. Now, I know a lot of my readers, particularly my Christian readers, and you guys have talked about this, like, wasn't he inspired more by Aslan? Because depending on which version you've read or where you are in the series, as you know, Leonis manifests and demonstrates all of the abilities of the sentient races. And his primary form, when he shifts shapes, his primary form is a Black Panther. And no, even though I love comic books and I really like Marvel, it's not a reference to Black Panther. I'm sorry. It's Bagheera. I enjoyed the fact that Bagheera was this strong, nurturing character who provided boundaries, who provided insight. And yes, there are shades of Aslan in there, but it's mostly Bagheera. So, yeah. I hope that's not too disappointing. I still really like Bagheera, though. If I ever sponsor a Black Panther, I'm going to ask that it be named Bagheera. So, anyway, moving on. The other one, Shere Khan. My love of villains started very, very early. I thought Shere Khan was very fascinating. I watched the Disney animated version before I read the book, so in some regards the animated version had a deeper impact. But I just thought the character was really interesting, and I wanted to write a character who had a lot of those same traits. So I remember I drew a picture of what I thought a human version of Shere Khan would look like. And then I wrote down all the traits, and I started creating a character out of that and his backstory. And that character is Kanan. Yes! One of the Shrieking Chimera cadre members. He's... You know, it's funny, I don't know that a lot of his traits are necessarily obvious because the character has evolved so much over the past... Wow. All these years. He's changed a lot. It's still there, but not so much. You see it most in the name. you know what's funny? I'm just thinking about this now. Even though that's who I based the character off of, and Conan is a shapeshifter, he never turns into a tiger. He's a Caravatrian, so he can only become a winged creature. Though I guess he could be, a winged tiger, maybe like a griffin. That might work. Anyway, moving on, the other character who I was inspired to develop based off of the Jungle Book came from the character Raksha. Now, like I mentioned in my review, I really, really liked that character. I think she had a fantastic entrance and a very powerful voice. She's a mother who is, not entirely equipped for the job at hand, but she is ferocious. And I absolutely love her leaping out and, snarling, "I am Rasha, the demon!" And there I just gave it away. That was the base personality that I then went on to create Rasha, Hakar's wife. So those three characters were all inspired by the Jungle Book. And, they've changed a lot over the years, but whenever I see them, it makes me smile, and I think back about that. So anyway, thank you so much for your questions. I will continue to answer them, and feel free to send me any others that you have. Thank you again, and have an absolutely wonderful day. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.